up, we have Dr. Nicole Lynch Smith with Signia.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nicole, and I see a lot of friendly faces today. I am from the Tampa area, and I'm glad to be here today to share with you about Signia's innovative designs. So you'll hear a lot about different manufacturers, and at the end of the day, we all are focused on helping your patients hear the world better. But at Signia, we can talk about how we are different. Our philosophy at Signia is audiology first. We want to restore audibility, and we want to do it in a comfortable way for your patient. We also want to give you tools to provide this wonderful sound in devices that your patients are excited to wear or will accept. We also really focus on our research and design. And like my cousin company that just went before, we are part of WS Audiology. We do have in-house research, but we also have independent research that is going on throughout the world. So when you are selecting a solution for your patient, how do you make that decision? Well, these are specific differences that Signia has to offer for you. First and foremost, we have augmented focus, and we launched this initially with our AX platform, but we supercharged our augmented focus with our new integrated experience, and the secret behind that is real-time conversation enhancement. Next, our dynamic soundscape processing. That is our automatic classifier that identifies what type of listening situation your patient is in and makes automatic changes. That means it's easier for your patient to wear, and they're not constantly thinking about adapting or adjusting for their needs. Next, own voice processing. We continue to be the only manufacturer that has something like this, and what this helps you to achieve is maximizing that audibility, allowing you to close the fitting down, and your patient accepts the sound of their own voice. And we all know that many patients come to you because they're struggling in noise, and directionality and noise reduction are more effective if you close the fitting. So own voice processing is now on its second generation. We're helping your patients to be comfortable with their own voice. Next, auto echo shield. Many of us live in Florida, and we live in open concept homes where there are reverberations and reflections. So auto echo shield is a feature that we previously had that required a manual program that your patient had to consciously change over to a reverberant room program to access. We are now able to make that automatic in our premium level technology, and patients not only are more comfortable with the sound quality, but it actually supports speech understanding. And we've got great research to back that up. We have motion sensors in many of our devices, and not only are we using these for our health aspect of our app, but we're using this in our classification to tell those hearing aids which mode to be in. And next, ear-to-ear wireless. This is something that our legacy brand Siemens pioneered, and it's actually about to have its 20th anniversary. The first application of this was if a patient decided they wanted to change their program or their volume and they touched a button on one hearing aid, the other hearing aid followed suit. Two ears working together, that's how the brain is wired, and patients were more successful. Now we are on our fourth generation of this NFMI technology. We are sharing data lightning fast, and this is one of the secrets behind our cross technology. We also have binaural one mic directionality. So even in our omnidirectional devices, our devices work together, enhance that pin effect, and give your patient an advantage even though they are wearing omnidirectional technology. And last but not least, our application of AI in our technology is applied through our Signia Assistant, and that is available in our Signia app. So let's dive in. What makes augmented focus different? Augmented Xperience was launched in 2021, and we were the first to give your patients split processing. So that means all sounds from the world come in, go into the microphone, but we split speech from background noise for your patients at the point of input. Then you have a speech stream and a surrounding stream. Well, what does that mean? We are able to apply different algorithms to each of these. We treat speech in a more linear fashion, keeping it crisp and clear. That's what your patients are after. And then we also apply different compression strategies to background sounds. So we can keep your patient comfortable, but we can also help them feel like they are part of the celebration. And then we can put these together and create that contrast for them, that signal-to-noise ratio, augment the reality of their sound experience, and no longer do they have to compromise on keeping them comfortable or giving them that wonderful, clear speech. So now we have taken it to the next level, because so many times what drives your patients into your office is, hey, I'm struggling in noise. And you can do everything that you normally do to maximize their audibility, to run your real ear measurements. And they come back to you and say, okay, I'm hearing much better in quiet environments. But when I went to Texas Roadhouse with the family on Saturday night, I struggled. I could hear the person right across from me, but I missed the whole conversation. So we know that group conversations are difficult. It's what's driving your patients many times to your clinics or their significant others to bring them to you. And what happens when they aren't able to be part of that conversation is they get frustrated. They wind up isolating themselves and ultimately withdrawing from the conversation. And not only do they then miss out on those relationships, but the people who love them and care about them miss out on their contribution too. So that's why we focused on unleashing the power of conversation with our brand new platform called Integrated Xperience. We want to integrate your patients back into the conversation, and the way we are doing this is a culmination of all of this design and research that we've had over the past 10 years, and the focus is on the Augmented Xperience, and now we are layering that. So not only are we giving them contrast for that individual that's across from them, we are able to pinpoint multiple speakers at the same time, create that contrast between speech and noise, and we are able to keep them comfortable because we have Own Voice Processing 2.0, and even if they are at Texas Roadhouse and we've done everything and unleashed IX for them, they can make adjustments in real time with Signia Assistant there. So we truly are the world's first hearing aid with a multi-stream architecture, and what that does is it creates a live auditory space in the sphere that they are listening to, and we are specifically addressing that challenge of helping them hear better in an active conversation. And this is just a nice little animation of how all of that is working. So we've got those directionality and polar plots working. And the nice thing about this technology also is that it's not static. It adapts. It changes. It adapts at 1,000 times per second. So even if the conversation moves, or even if your wearer turns their head, we are still able to pinpoint and augment those conversations. This hasn't been done before, y'all, and it's really, really exciting. All right, so Own Voice Processing 2.0, like I said, we are still the only manufacturer that has this. And essentially what is happening with this feature is we are training these very intelligent devices to recognize when the wearer is using their own voice, when they are speaking. What happens when they speak? We are immediately applying compression to their voice and to their voice alone. We are not sacrificing any of the gain or audibility for other voices. As soon as they're done using their voice, we bring everything back up. And what does that mean? That means that we are still able to use these cues in that conversational back and forth dyad. So we are going to analyze this. We are going to help by augmenting the conversations, and then we are automatically going to adapt. So not only are we using this feature to keep your patients comfortable, we are using it in our new classification to help integrate your patient back into the conversation. And, of course, we've got tons of research. We've got white papers. I'll be happy to share those with you. Please do come to visit us at booth 7-1. And Signia Assistant. I'd love to talk a little more about this because I think as I speak with providers that this is a little bit underutilized. So what happens with our Signia Assistant is truly your patient has the opportunity to make adjustments in real time. So many of us will see a patient for a follow-up and they'll say, well, I was struggling. And you ask follow-up questions and say, well, what kind of environment were you in? I'm not sure, but we need to make an adjustment. We need to make a change. So they are able to access this in their Signia app in real time. And it is an intuitive chatbot, a chat interface that they can use. And this, again, is our application of AI. So as patients use this and accept the solutions that are offered, that data is compiled and it is used to make further recommendations for patients in those same situations. So it is part of a deep neural network that is live and getting smarter every time your patient opens this app and uses it. This is just a little preview of what it looks like, so you can see that it is very friendly. It says, hi, how can I help you? Sounds a lot like what we do. And they are given a closed set of options. Is it your own voice? Is it sound quality? What can I help you with today? And as we narrow things down, they are given some options. How does this sound? How does this sound? How does this sound? If they accept a change, fantastic. Would you like to keep that? Would you like to enhance it? Or would you like to go back to the way that it was? All of this, again, happening in the moment at Texas Roadhouse when they are struggling. They're more satisfied, they're happy, and most likely won't be back in your office complaining that they couldn't hear their grandkids. So absolutely a great feature, again, that is supporting satisfaction and success for your patients. And, of course, we have the data to show that 8 out of 10 wearers preferred the settings that were applied by Signia Assistant. The acceptance rate did increase because we are getting more and more data. So again, that's my motivational platform that I am trying to get y'all to embrace. And then, of course, we are not sacrificing clarity. I know I have had discussions with providers before where they say, well, if I allow my patient to make these changes, will they throw the audibility off? Will they sacrifice my fitting? The mean change is only about 2 decibels. So we are not sacrificing that at all there, and we are absolutely maintaining their speech understanding. I am going to glance over that because I want to show you the product that you can deliver an integrated experience to your patients with. We have launched this in our tried and true receiver and canal devices and the world's first rechargeable instant fit prescription completely in canal device in our silk. So our Pure Charge and Go, we do have 2 versions of those. Biggest difference is the one on the right has an embedded T-coil. Never know when your patient's going to need that. And extended battery life, 39 hours on a single charge. We're launching these in our top 3 technology levels. And right out of the gates, we have our cross solution. Again, the secret to our success with our cross is that 4th generation ear-to-ear wireless technology. And we do cross a little bit differently. We maintain a skewed directionality even when the going gets tough and the patient is in loud noise so that they feel more supported on that side of need. So we have also been doing rechargeable the longest with our legacy brand Signia, coming out with the first rechargeable hearing aid. So we've got tons of wonderful options for your rechargeable devices, and our marquee device is our Silk Charge and Go. And these tiny little devices do have a full 20% increase in processing power. The previous version of this was a size 10 battery-driven device, and that was 2 platforms ago. So we have leapfrogged a platform here so that the engineers could really focus on giving your patients the sound experience that they need with their devices. And these devices also come in cross. So if you have that patient with an unaidable ear that is not ready to accept a visible hearing device, you now have a rechargeable option that is all in the ear. And you do not have to sacrifice battery life. These little guys give you a full listening day on a 28-hour charge. Or 28-hour listening day on a full charge there. And I am out of time, so please do come to the booth. Ask us more. I've got all of our white papers available. Thank you very much for your attention, y'all.